Hi everybody, welcome back. Today we're in the garden and I am going to be talking about tomatoes. This is my bed for all of my different types of tomatoes. I think I have maybe 7 or 8 different varieties in here. This one closest to us is a yellow pear. We have some Chernobyl tomatoes, Ukrainian purples, sweeties, black cherries, white cherry tomatoes. I have some tomatillos, and a few other bits and pieces in here. Some marmans, which are the big fat daddy ones. So I'm just going to talk about today identifying suckers and actually how you can get some free tomato plants. Usually but when I go by and I see little suckers, first let's talk about how to identify them. So if you look here, this is a branch, this is the main stem, and in here we have these little suckers. So you can come through and just pick them off like that, and there you have a sucker. So you want to get rid of these ideally because they suck the energy out of your plant. If you don't remove them, they just end up growing to become almost like another whole tomato plant, like an offshoot, and it drains a lot of the energy. So it's out of focus there. It drains a lot of the energy out of your plant. Now, as much as I come through and I remove these, they're constantly coming up. Sometimes they come back up again from the base. So, and then sometimes I miss them completely. What I usually do with these is I chop and drop. So I basically put them back onto the ground to try and replenish the carbon that they draw and the nutrients and minerals they draw from the soil. And as it decomposes, it comes back into the ground. You can see here, there's a big sucker here that's quite large. I noticed that about a week ago, but I purposefully left it and it's grown considerably, and I specifically wanted to leave it because I wanted to show you how you can get a whole new tomato plant from a sucker like that. So first things first, you can just push this and snap it, but for today's experiment I will just cut it with a pair of scissors from the base here. Okay, so I'm doing this one-handed. Now look at the size of this. This, as you can see, all these little hairs and the little bumps there are these little bumps along the stem. You see all these little hairs. The myth is that these hairs become roots, but it's not. There's actually little bumps all along the stem, and it's from these bumps that the roots come from. So what we're going to do today is we're just going to poke this into some soil and give it a water, and and you'll end up growing a whole new tomato plant. Right, so as we come down here, what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to just remove this leaf. It's not needed. Just get rid of that. Oops, hello. Put that off, cut that down there. And I'm going to make quite a deep hole with my finger. Put it in quite deep, and then just press it down. And even if it does wilt a little bit, that is going to grow. It'll start to establish itself in the next couple of days, and within the space of a couple of weeks, it will start growing its roots, and it will really start to grow. I can show you one that I planted directly into the ground. Just a week ago. It was wilted and it struggled for the first few days, and then now look at it, it's literally been probably about a week. This plant here was also an offshoot, and it's already started to flower, so you can see that it does actually work. So if you saw So this is just one of my other beds here with some purple sprouting broccoli, some beets there, some mustard tatsoi, some kale. These bottles have a natural mixture of borax and sugar. I had some issues with some ants last week and did that as a natural deterrent. If you're interested to see that, please let me know. These are chocolate stripes. This here is a sweetie tomato. We had a fairly decent rain here last night. Yesterday, should I say. So these are the yellow pear tomatoes. I'm just waiting to get a bit bigger and to ripen. And these are the Ukrainian purples. I think I've got some Romas in here as well. So yeah, that's really it. I mean, these plants will continue to keep giving suckers. Again, you see, here's another. So here, actually, this is the sucker here. I'm going to remove that. I'll probably just put that into another video as a short for people. But you have to keep on top of your tomato plants, because they literally, you can come back in a couple of days and they'll start to sprout more suckers from all over the place. And these need to be trimmed, and you can trim a lot of this foliage away, because obviously you want to try and push the energy to your fruit. And what I like to do is I like to come through and remove every week or so. I remove the leaves from the lower part of the tomato plants. It allows for airflow, it allows for the energy to be driven straight to the top of the plant and also to the fruit, and these will continue to fruit all season long now. The only thing I must say, these are indeterminate tomatoes, which means that they grow indeterminately, and as long as you give them a support, they will continue to grow taller and taller. This trellis is 2 meters high, and it's driven into the ground with 1 meter rods, which is inside of this PVC piping, and it's quite sturdy. I'll probably just put a connection across the top of these just to hold it together some more, but I'm going to top these tomato plants so they stop growing, and again, just so it just drives all that energy to the rest of the plant. See, there's another little sucker here. See, this is the branch, this is the top of the plant. You can just top them off. Oops, hello. And then we'll throw that down again. And literally you can just go through your plant one by one gently and remove. Same here. Same here. You see, this is a prime example. So that's a sucker coming from there. This is the main stem. This was meant to be the offshoot where the branch was going to come, and this sucker decided to help himself out here. So I hope that's been helpful for you. This is a good way to take care of your tomato plant. It's a good way to take care of your tomato plant and allow it to grow big and strong. Just get rid of that. It's another little sucker. And this will maximize the amount of fruit you get. And if you need more tomato plants, or you want to give some away to your friends or to your family members, you can just go around, let them grow a little bit, chop them up, and plant them into a pot, and hey presto. And there we are. Please subscribe, please hit the like button, ring that notification bell, and I hope to see you guys back here soon. Thank you very much.